Dear students, Namaste and welcome to today's English class of grade 9, and today we are in unit 1 and dealing with lesson reading 2. Okay, we are doing reading 2. That means we are doing a poem. Okay, so what is that? Before going through it, we have something to discuss over here. Yes, the picture. Look at the picture first and let's discuss about it. Look at the picture below and answer the questions. Here we have a picture and also we will discuss some questions related to this picture. First of all, look at this picture carefully. What do you see over here? What do you see over here? We can see here a horse, right? A horse. And next, a person. And then, what type of environment is this? Okay, yes, it is. It looks white. That means it may be snow, right? Snowfall. That's why there is snowfall. That's why the place is totally white and beautiful, right? Snowfall is always beautiful. When the place is covered with snow, it is very beautiful to look at. And what else we see over here? Some trees, right? Trees. So it must be must be some remote site or something countryside, right? So that is our guess. Let's see what questions are here. Okay, number A question is, where do you think the man in the picture is? We have guessed in some extent. Here is a man and the man is somewhere in this beautiful place. So where do you think it is? As we discussed, there are some trees, maybe countryside, we guessed earlier as well. Maybe this is where do you think the man is in this picture? So just you can guess, this may be the countryside, maybe village, or maybe forest. We can guess we can make our guess. Next question. Why do you think he has stopped there? Why do you think he has stopped there? We don't know the reason why he has stopped there, but even then what we can guess is maybe to look at the beauty of the nature, right? Snowfall is beautiful. When the place is covered by snow, it is beautiful. Maybe to look at that, or maybe to play with snow. Well, what do you think? You also make your guesses, okay? Now, it's time for us to move to the poem, as I said. Can you guess the title of the poem? What did you say? Wonderful. Yes, the title of the poem is, still we have a question before that, okay? So you keep guessing one more. I have one more question. Have you ever had stopped at any beautiful but strange place? As we discussed about the place, kind of place before, you might have also stopped somewhere. When you look at the beautiful place, you might have stopped over there. Have you ever had stopped in such place? Maybe, right? You might have. Did you continue or discontinue your journey after that? So after looking at the beautiful place, you just stayed there and enjoyed, enchanted by the beautiful place, and you stayed, enjoyed over there, and you thought to quit. What were you doing before reaching that place, and you stopped that doing, or you continued your journey? Were you attracted by the beauty of that place or not? Of course, whenever we see a beautiful place, we are attracted by the beauty of that place, and we feel like staying there for a long time and not doing anything. But yes, whether you continued or not, you can express your own. But whatever work we had in the mind, we have to continue that as well, right? Of course, we need to continue our work, though however the place is, we could enjoy for a while, but we have to continue our work. Okay, so before the title of the poem, we are going to know about the poet. Okay, poet without poet of the poem that we are going to read, we are going through, is Robert Lee Frost. Okay, Robert Lee Frost was one of the renowned American poets of 20th century. Very well known, renowned person. He is highly regarded for his realistic description of rural life, village life, countryside. His poems convey deep moral messages about life, and even the poems gives us messages of our life. He won 4 Pulitzer Prizes for his work. Pulitzer Prizes is a great prize in literary field. New Hemisphere 1924, Collected Poems 1931, and A Witness Tree 1943. These are his work. Okay, his compiled works. And this poem also falls into New Hemisphere. His work, New Hemisphere. About the poem. Okay, what we are going, the poem we are going through is, the poet is going on a long journey and passing through a forest which is covered with snow, as we have seen in the picture. We discussed in the picture. The forest, okay, the forest is covered with snow. He was along with his horse. He stopped there in the forest, fascinated by beauty of woods filled with snow. But his horse finds it strange and reminds the poet about his journey by shaking its harness bells. Harness bells, we will talk about it in the poem, harness bells. Okay. Then the poet thinks of continuing his journey, saying, "But I have miles to go," focusing on his duties and responsibilities. Okay, here's the title finally. What's your guess? Check out. Stopping by woods on a snowy evening. Okay, so did you guess the same? Good, very good. So here in the title we can see the words like stopping, stopped, right? We stopped. By woods. Woods, what is woods? I'll give you meaning over here in the slide as well. But woods mean forest, okay? The place covered with trees, and the next word is snowy. Snowy means snowfall. Snowy evening. What time it is? Evening time. Okay, evening time means when the sun sets, it's going to set, and it's going to be dark, right? It's going to be dark, evening time. Stopping by the woods on a snowy evening. Have you ever stopped in the woods in the evening time? it looks beautiful. The wood, the jungle, the forest looks beautiful. The forest look beautiful, but evening time it's look beautiful, but we rarely stop, right? But here the poet has stopped. Maybe look out. Let's look out. He has stopped or moved. What happened? Here's the first stanza of the poem. What is it? Let's see. Look at here, a beautiful forest, a beautiful woods where it is snowing. You can see snowing, and it's even getting darker. It's getting darker, but because of snow, the place is just sparkling, beautiful snowfall. Let's start our first stanza. Stopping by woods on a snowy evening. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though he will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. Okay, as we have discussed, woods mean forest. Okay, forest with trees. And here the speaker is poet himself. The poet himself says that he knows whose woods are these, mean the owner of the wood. He knows who is the owner of the woods. I think I know. He knows, but not much sure. I think. He says, I think. But he knows. His house is in a village, though. The person's house is far from that wood. In the village, as it is woods, forest, there is no houses nearby that, village nearby that. It was quite far, calm and quiet place. Okay. He will not see me stopping here. The owner cannot see the poet in the woods, because the person is very far in the village, and the owner cannot see this beautiful moment, beautiful place that is filled up with snow. Okay, now let's move to next stanza. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. So here the word we highlighted words queer. Queer means strange or something unusual, not usually happened, strange. Farmhouse means a small cottage house in the farm. My horse must think it queer. The horse must think it queer, strange, because the poet has done something different than usual things. It is queer, strange, unusual. That means the activity was unusual, different than before. To stop without a farmhouse near, that means he had stopped there without farmhouse near. He used to stop, it means he used to stop nearby the farmhouse. Between the woods and frozen lake, between the woods jungle, right, a forest, and a farmhouse. Farmhouse means what? A small cottage house in the farm. House in the farm is called farmhouse. You can see over here a picture as well. And here next one is what? Frozen lake. Frozen mean freezed, right? Ice. So there, the frozen lake mean the lake, the water of the lake is frozen. You can see ice over here. The lake is frozen. And the poet is between forest and the frozen lake, between that. And it was the time, darkest evening of the year, maybe the longest or darkest evening time of the year. That's why the horse was feeling queer to stop over there, between in the place where there was no farmhouse, and in the middle of the wood. Now let's move to next stanza. He gives his harness bells a shake. So what is harness bells? Look at here. Harness bells attached, stripped of leather, tied to the neck of an animal. You can see. And then next word is downy flake, the soft, feathery, small pieces of snow falling from the sky. First of all, let's talk about harness bell. Harness bell is a leather, the bells, okay, they are bells attached to leather bells that is put around the neck of animals, okay, body or neck of animals, to the horse over here, right, horse, like this. You can see snowy time, and then there's a horse, and the horse has worn harness bells. He gives his harness bells a shake, and it produces sound, right? When the bell rings, shakes, there is a ring of the bell, the sound is there. To ask if there is some mistake, the horse shakes the bell to remind the poet whether there is some mistake, to stop in such a middle of the wood, in front of the wood, to stop like that, whether there is some mistakenly stopped over there. The only other sounds, the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. Downy flake, as you know, the soft, feathery, small pieces of snow. You can see in this picture, snow, pieces of snow falling from the sky. So there was the sound of sweep sound of the sweep pieces sound, right? When the snow, there is a soft, gentle sound produced of this snowfall, and then there was another sound is of wail, right? It was so calm and peace environment, and only the sound heard was those bells, and then sound of snowfall they could hear. Very calm and peaceful otherwise. Next stanza. The woods are lovely, dark and deep. The woods are lovely, dark and deep. As we can see, there are three adjectives, three words over here to describe the woods. Beautiful wood is described by these three words. What are they? Lovely, dark and deep. It was dark and deep, though it is dark and deep, it is lovely to look at. The poet enjoyed a lot observing the beauty of nature, standing in front of snowy, in front of the forest when it was there was lots of snow, right? White, it was covered with white snow, and they were in. They mean poet and the horse, both. They enjoyed. But I have promises to keep. But what he has? He has promises to keep. And miles to go before I sleep. And miles to go before I sleep. Okay, so these stanza, these lines especially tells us that, okay, directly if we go to the direct meaning of these lines, then it means he has promises. Promises mean he was on a journey, the poet was on a journey, and poet has to travel a long distance before he stop, before his sleep, before he stops somewhere in the farmhouse or maybe hotel or somewhere. Before stopping, he has to travel a lot, travel across some distance. But there is a underlying meaning as well, hidden meaning, let's say underlying meaning of before I sleep. Okay, before I sleep also means before the date. Okay, before the date of the poet, he has something to do. Promises means maybe duties and responsibilities. He has to perform some duties and responsibility before sleep. Many duties and responsibilities that we have to do in our daily life. We are bounded by many duties and responsibilities. Even maybe duties and responsibilities are in some place, and another on the other hand we have our desires, right? Our desires, wishes. We would like to fulfill our desire and wishes, but we should not forget about our duties and responsibilities. We should not forget about duties and responsibilities. So both we have to keep balance of both duty as well as and then responsibility. So keeping the balance between these two, we have to run our life. Our life is a journey, and we have to continue our journey, our life, our journey of our life, let's say journey of our life, along with our responsibilities, along with our desires, both. And one more thing, I would like to take you back to the back to over here once, second stanza. This frozen lake, about the frozen lake and woods. Woods refers to here, woods refers to the life, okay, because it was beautiful life. Our, let's say it is, we can relate it to our desires, beauty of our desires that we wanted to spend time, where we are distracted, let's say. And another, there's a frozen lake. Frozen lake means like date. Okay, so we are between that. We are between our birth and our date, right? So we are between that, and to reach the destination of our life, we have to go across the long way. So this is about the poem, and what we can do is, now let's talk about theme. So as a overall, the main theme, let's talk about main theme. The main theme of the poem is the love for nature and the relationship between human and nature. So what kind of relationship we have, human and nature? The poem describes a lovely wood filled up with snow. The poet passes through it, admiring the beauty of a snow-filled forest. It says that we want to enjoy many things in our life. Many things we want to enjoy in our life, our desires. We would like to fulfill our desires, but due to our duties and responsibilities, we have to move on. We have to move on. We cannot stick to our desire and let's say entertainment or something where we forget about our duties and responsibilities. We have many desires, but we cannot fulfill them all. We have to understand that. It is not possible to fulfill all the desires. Summary. The poem was written by an American poet, Robert Frost, in 1922 and published in 1923. Actually, you won't be asked to write summary or the theme, but I am giving you here this for the better understanding. Okay, with this summary, you will have the better concept of the poem. That's why I am giving summary over here. As a part of his collection, New Hemisphere, the poem is told from the perspective of a traveler who stops to watch the snowfall in the forest. In doing so, he tries to reflect on both nature and society. The poet thinks about the owner of the woods as he was passing through, and fairly sure of knowing him. However, the owner's home is far away in the village. Thus, he is not capable of seeing the poet paused to watch snow fall in the forest. The poet thinks his horse finds it strange to stop far away from village. They are between forest and frozen lake in the longest night of the year. The horse shakes bells on his harness, as if asking the poet whether he had made a mistake by stopping. The other sound were that of wind and snowfall, sweep sound, wind sound of the wind, sweep sound. The poet finds the forest attractive. However, the poet has duties and responsibilities to fulfill. Thus, though he has many miles to go, he observed the beauty of forest for a while and enjoyed. But he is aware of what he has to do. Yes, this is the main thing. We can observe the beauty, we can enjoy in our life, but we should not forget about our duties and responsibilities. See how beautiful the poem is with message, right? With message for our life. So it's we have come to the end of the poem. We have gone through the poem. Now we move to exercise. Okay, we move to exercise. So the first exercise is find the words from the text that match the following meanings. A. An area of trees smaller than a forest. What is it? Yes. The word is woods. Number B. Strange or unusual. What is that? Square. Number C. The main house on a farm, or usually where the farmers live, is a farmhouse. Number D. A set of leather and metal pieces that is put around the body of a horse. We went through a picture as well, right? So picture, what is that? Harness bell. Number E. Movement of the air. Sweep. F. Covered in something very soft. Downy flake. Okay, we have done with exercise A. I hope your guesses are right. Now let's move to next exercise, that is B. Choose the correct answer. Why does the speaker stop while on the journey? The options are to watch the woods filled up with snow, to find the food for his or her horse, to say hello to the owner of the woods, to go skating on a frozen lake. What is the answer? Number I. To watch the woods filled up with snow, right? Now number B. What is the setting of the poem? Here are the options. Go through the options. Have you gone through? So what do you think the answer is? Yes, obviously the answer is the woods on a dark snowy evening. The setting is there in the woods, right? Number C. Which one of the following statement is true? Okay, go through the options. What do you think? Which one is the right statement? What's your answer? Yes. The answer is the woods are far away from the village. Number D. What does miles to go before I sleep mean? Here are the options. Go through the options. Have you gone through? What do you think the answer is? Okay, you may get confused over here, right? But let me clear you. The answer is the speaker has lots of responsibilities to fulfill. Okay, the right answer is the speaker has lots of responsibilities to fulfill. Here the direct meaning, we might think that the speaker has a long distance to travel, but the hidden meaning is this one. The speaker has lots of responsibilities to fulfill. That is the main meaning of before I sleep. Okay. Next, number E. How did the horse respond when the speaker stopped there? How did it respond? What's the answer? Okay, yes, shook its harness. Okay, we have done with choose the right answer. Now we move to number C. Fill in the gaps with appropriate words from the box to complete the summary of the poem. Okay, we have words over here. Now let's fill up in the blanks. The poet compares human life with a, what is it? Journey. Yes. The poet compares human life with a journey. The speaker of the poem is a, what word fits over here? Traveler. He has to reach his, what word fits over here? Destination. However, he is distracted by the momentary pleasure in the form of, which word? Okay, the woods. His companion, the horse, reminds him of his promises in life. The speaker realizes that he has to fulfill many responsibilities before his death. Okay, somehow after filling up these blanks, we get the summary as well, and you get the poem better. Now look at one more activity over here, number D, that is number D. Recall a journey you have recently made. Who accompanied you on the journey? Did you enjoy it? Compose a short poem about it. Okay, here now you have to be very poetic. You have to compose a poem. Okay, let's do like this. First of all, here I have made a diagram over here. A beautiful view. Okay, first of all, journey. Where was your journey? Okay, as we have discussed about this journey of Nagarkot in previous class. Here, okay, Nagarkot, the picture of Nagarkot, the view that we see from Nagarkot, okay, is here. And then with whom you went there? Family, enjoyed a lot. Okay, enjoyed a lot. Now we can create a poem in this way. Beautiful sunrise and sunset, walked the hills up and down. Father, mother, brother and sister enjoyed a view from the top tower. So in this way you can also create many poems on nature, beautiful nature. Nature is very beautiful and you can create many beautiful poems on it. Even you can go through different collected poems by other poets about nature, and then you can go through that poems, and then you can create your poem on your own about the nature. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed today's class, and then you got about the poem, and then clear about all the exercises. That's all for today. Thank you. Namaste.